Okay. So you can see that there's a cognitive level 3 cognitive level. That's the knowledge base. The level 3, you need to learn how to apply whatever knowledge, the concept that you have learned previously, not only on this set. Okay, that's why we have this prerequisite. Whatever concept or knowledge that you get from your first programming course in semester 1, you need to apply it later on into this course. Okay, so that's the practical skills. Develop appropriate window-based applications. So for this course of visual programming, you're going to deal with the Visual Basic .NET. Then most of the time we're going to deal with the GUI, which means that the graphic user interface. Okay, so you will still have part of the programming. Okay, you still need to put in some programming part, but mostly we're going to deal with the UI. Okay, you need to make UI functionable later on. And then make sure another course that you have learned last semester, the database. Okay, so all these are going to be applied into this course. You're going to come out with a fully functionable window-based program. Okay, from the programming side, and how this can access to the database that you have. Okay. Also demonstrate the multiple form window-based applications through effective communications and teamwork skill. Again, so for this course, you're gonna assess your communications and teamwork skills. Okay, interpersonal skill, which means you need to have good communications and a teamwork spirit amongst the group members. Again, 3 of you will be in the same group. That will be a group assignment. Okay, so this group assignment, we will talk about it. I think today is not the time to talk about this assignment, but I can tell you that will be the group assignment. Okay, and then you're gonna deal with only one form. By only using one form is not enough to do everything. Okay, you're gonna have more than one form, and then from form 1 to form 2, 3, 4, you can actually rename all these forms to make it meaningful. Okay, so from one form to link to another form, all this you're gonna learn before this, before you start your assignment. Okay, and then you apply it to your assignment. And also for whatever you have learned in the problem solving and programming, the assignment that you have done previously, you actually deal with the library management system. Okay, so for this library management system, can you all still hear me?
Can.
Okay. So for this library management system, I did mention 4 components, which means that the 4 most important things that you need to do in the system is the CRUD. CRUD, still remember? C-R-U-D?
Sure.
Okay, so you're going to apply those 4 components there you have learned in the BSS 101. Apply it to this course as well. Create it. You retrieve the data, update the data, delete the data, or delete the record. Okay, so this is what a bit of intro of this course. So the skills that you need to learn from this course, you have this problem solving and scientific skills, which means that based on the practical questions that given later. So you have to think of what's the logic? What's the concept? What's the UI that I need to come out with? Okay, then apply what kind of programming skill into it, what kind of logic into it. Okay, you have to think lah. Okay, social skill, team skill, responsibility, and also the communication skill. So this one is actually when starts with your group assignment. So when you do your group discussions, yeah, I hope you all have better cooperations already. It's already sem 3 now. Okay. So the team skill, and then for the assignment they're going to assign to you all, the marks is still actually based on the individual. Even though that's a group assignment, but you need to take care of your own module. What you have done in programming, problem solving. This one, problem solving and programming. Okay, you need to take care of 1 or 2 modules. Then marks will be given based on that. Okay, doesn't mean that it's the marks. Everyone getting the same mark, not necessary. Depends on your work already. So for this course, we have 10 chapters here. Okay, the 10 chapters you have with the introductions. Okay, UI design, variable constants, calculations, design conditions, menu, common dialog boxes, sub procedures, functions procedures, multi-forms, project, list, loop, and printing, array, accessing database files, and also saving data in files. So some part of it is actually concept they use in this course is actually the same like what you have gone through in the problem solving and programming. Okay, the concept is still the same. You're going to have the same rules for the variables, constants, the calculations, expressions, mathematical expressions, formula, all these operators is going to be the same. The concept is still the same. Use the if else, for loop, array, the concept is still the same. Okay, decisions and conditions. Okay, it's only that the way to come out with the programming side is a little bit different. A little bit different. Okay, so we're gonna go through all this chapter one by one. Then for the assessment, continuous assessment for this course, for the coursework component, we have coursework component and also the exam component here. Coursework component, continuous assessment with 70%. So for the test and assignment here, because since this is online teaching and learning, and Kel already proposed to make it to 100%, which means that 70% here become assignment. Okay, it's already being minuted in program review because of this online teaching and learning. So they make it assignment to 70% in this case. So your exam, you still have 30%. So which means that you're going to have 4 questions. So 100 marks, this 100 marks will be converted to 30 marks. Your assignment also, 100 marks converted to 70 marks. So far, so good. You're clear with it?
Clear.
Okay. So the reference book, you can refer to this list here. Programming with the Microsoft Basic 2017. And then the Microsoft Visual Basic 2017 for Windows, so for web, database applications, comprehensive. So since now the campus is closed, okay, you can, if you want to get the book, okay, physical book, you can always contact the number the WhatsApp number that you can find out from the Sabah website. Okay. To book the book list that you want. Okay. And our librarian will try their best to get you how to get the book, whether it's a physical one or the online one. Okay. If you need that. Okay. So for the syllabus, okay. So that's the things that we need to cover first before we go for the lecture. And then, one more thing. The component again, I just want to confirm with you all. Emphasize again. This is a 70-30 cost. Which is 70% coursework, 30% final exam. Okay?
So usually is 50-50, like that.
Yeah, depends on the courses. Some of the courses 50-50, some of the courses 60-40, some of the courses 40-60, and some of the courses 70-30. That is the cost. So all this you need to get the info from your lecturer. Okay, if you want to know more, please ask that particular lecturer to have all this kind of information. It's only whether you all notice that or not. Okay, and you still need to pass the threshold. You still need to pass the threshold, which means that later on for the assignment, 100 marks. Okay, this 100, you need to get at least 50 for you to go for the pass this course, likely to go for the final exam, have a chance to pass this course. So 100%, the marks that you get from the 100% will be converted to 70%. Okay. The final exam also, final online assessment also, 100% will be converted to 30%. Then the final exam, the threshold, 40%. Please take note. Okay. You must get at least 50 for the coursework, 40 for the what we call that, the final online assessment. But add up, you must still get at least 50 after you add up the all the marks, the coursework and also the exam marks. You must still get at least 50 to pass this course. Okay? Yeah. Can you all hear me?
Okay.
Okay, good. So any questions you want to ask before we cover our first chapter? And this course is actually with 2 hours lecture, 2 hours practical only. Okay?
So far, no.
No, there is no tutorial for this course now.
No.
Okay.
Classroom, I didn't get invited, I think.
Huh?
Classroom.
Why?
I didn't get invited, I think.
I put the class code in your group already, is it?
Oh, you use the class code. Oh, I thought you just invited.
The class code I put inside the our group here, which I think is easier for you to access.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. You got it or not?
I got it.
Okay. Long time ago, Yeah, so you can get the material from there. The chapters, lecture notes are there. The practical questions are there. And also the thanks, Noel, for your help to extract the class code from the message. Okay. We have also the demo files for most of the chapters. So this round, CC agreed to release the demo files to all of you, so that at least you all can refer back again for all these kind of demo files, so that you can apply it well to your assignment later on.
Oh yeah, Miss, got one question.
Why? What was
The Visual Studio 2017 and
17 or
2019.
also can.
Oh, is there a big difference?
A bit different or not? Definitely more than the latest one. Should have more features lah.
Oh.
I'm also using 2019. You're using 2019 or 17. It's up to you. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I will present the chapter 1. Okay. So for this chapter 1, introduction to VB.NET. The objective of this chapter. Oh, before that, have any questions before I start? Any other questions?
No.
No.
No. So, like Kelvin, please join the class on Google Classroom as soon as possible.
Oh.
So Shweta, Farah, and also Noel already in the Google Classroom.
Already joined.
Yeah. Okay, good. So we're going to start our first chapter here. The objective for this chapter to describe the process of a visual program design and development. Explain the terms OOP, the object-oriented programming. Your C++ that you have written is one of the OOP language. Okay, so explain the concept of classes, object properties, methods, and events. All these are the terms that you're going to use, okay, in the VB.NET later on. Okay, writing and describe the various files that made up a VB project, different files. After you have created a project, what are all those other files are normally like by using the Visual Studio, like what you have done for the C++ previously in first semester. You start to create a project, and you put in some code to run it. After you define and run it, you can find a lot of different files come out. So identify the elements in the Visual Studio environment. To define the design time, what's the design time, what's the runtime, what's the debug time. So write, run, save, clean, and modify your first visual project. So at the end of this chapter, you need to start with your first VB.NET project, the simple one, just to treat it as exercise for you, just to have a good start. This is VB.NET. To know how to use that. Okay. Identify syntax errors. What's the syntax error? Runtime error, logic errors. This one, for sure, I believe there's no problem for you to understand what's the difference between these three errors, because you'll ever deal with all these three errors previously in your Sem 1. Same concept. Same meaning, same concept. Okay. So use the autocorrect to correct syntax error. So one of the things for this VB.NET is actually they give you some, they give you the average, they'll give you which line, it's like Visual Studios that you deal with previously. And then they suggest some corrections for you. See whether that corrections are what they suggested to what you really want or not. Okay, you can do modifications from there. Okay, so look at the Visual Basic topic help. So you always can on the help to check. Okay, what are the things that you can do? What are the solutions that you can come up with, maybe based on some explanations given in an SPN method. Okay, SPN is actually provide a lot of VB info to get the students in. Okay, so describe the rate application development IDE and its benefit. So we will go through one by one. Window graphical user interface. So for this case, GUI. This is the one that I mentioned just now. We're going to deal more with GUI, user interface. Okay, so it defines how elements looks and functions. You can see that from a form here. This is a form. Let me hide it first. Okay, so this is a form here. And then you're going to create, normally when you browse any kind of website or any kind of system maybe, okay, they're going to have a form or they're going to have a page. And then I believe you all ever deal with the web design as well previously. So all those things is actually created by you now. Okay, you are the one who need to come up with that UI for the user to key in something. Okay, for that page or now for that form to function well. Okay, so like now in this case, you're going to come out with the label. You must make sure you know other elements that you need to use. Elements that you need to use for this part, for the coming parts of this. Okay, label. So get the user. In this case, for this is a text. So when the user look at this text box, if without the label here, how do you know the information that is key in here? So here, the label listed here, the name goes straight away. Easy for them to see, to know that okay, for this text box, I need to key in my name. For this text box, I need to here. And here, this is a group box. Okay, the one outer layer here, you can see a box here. It's a group box. Okay, this group box here, I want to group the relevant details here. In this case, the color to group it together. So to choose the color, I can use options button. I believe you all have deal with all this button already. Web design, right? Web design. You all deal with all this label type.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now all these can be and drag and drop without like what you have done in this previously in term 1. You need to all the, but now using GUI in this VB.NET, you can just drop and then put in some coding. That's it. So we have this checkbox as well, picture box, above again the button. So the buttons here is actually what you want this. In this case, display. Once I click on display, this display button can show later on. Click on this clear button. What this clear button can do after this. Definitely this you accept or quit from this form or the program already. Okay. So the windows here, call it. Okay. So when you open up your VB.NET later on, when you start to create a new project later on, you're gonna deal with forms. Those are the windows. Normally people will call it windows. And here, when we call it as a form. So we also have this menu bar, which we need to learn as well in one of the chapter. Different lists. As a drop-down list. Once you click, and it's going to have a list there. And then there's a list box, another group box. So for the group box, what happens here is actually they want to group some related, relevant informations into a group. And they want to have a group box D, just to group those relevant informations into the same area or same place. The elements also called as a control. All these are so called as a control. I believe this one also you have learned in web design. The list, only the menu bar, maybe you haven't deal with this menu bar. Okay, so you're gonna deal with menu bar in this VB.NET. So the controls using a toolbox. Okay, you can see the toolbox there. You start to open up a new project. Okay, with the toolbox for you to drag and drop. You can just simply double click on any elements that you want to use. Okay. This is one of the examples to create forms with some styles. They put in some labels here, and whether this to be keyed in by the user or this is actually to be displayed automatically after they put in some functions or some calculations. You want to come up with, after what kind of programs you want to come up with, okay? Languages are procedural, event-driven, and object-oriented. Actually, you're going to you have dealt with all these terms previously in Sem 1. Procedurals, basic. We're specifying the sequence of all operations. Sequence from step 1, step 2, step 3, step driven, 6.0, and previous. Okay, before this VB.NET is actually deal with the VB 6.0. And I believe many business outside I believe some of them are still using VB 6.0 because it's reluctant to change already. VB 6.0 is actually quite what we call that, adaptive, consider. For those business outside, for some of the medium-sized business, medium to small business, you can support. OPT VB.NET. User can control the sequence now. Can click event, change event in more way already. So the object model. Class, object, prop, method, event. So a class is like student. Go for the class, I can see. And object class here, I can see student 1, L as a student, Kelvin as a student in student class. Student in student class. So in this case, well, Kelvin and Farah as objects, class of student. Okay, right? Got it? What's the meaning of a class? Did you ever deal with it? Huh? Still remember the structure that you have? structure you all ever deal with. Structure declarations, your first time?
Flowchart.
Can't remember. Okay, never mind. If you can't remember that, pick up your. I hope you still have the materials from this semester 1. Structure. How you do the structure declarations last time? You have this struct student. So inside these declarations, you have student ID, character with the consider the string for the ID, the string for the name, and then the age, integer age. You have different members. After you declare that as a student, unit, one unit. Then you will have S1. Struct student, struct student S2, struct student 3, and so on. So the student A, your structure declarations, that's a class. The S1, S2, S3, that's the object of the class that you have, the student class. Okay, you still cannot get what I mean at this moment, no problem. You can easily just take out your letter notes from this BACS 1014, problem solving and programming. Okay, find the structure chapter. Okay, from there you can get more info. Okay, depends on the class and object. Now, so every object in the same class may have the same properties, same method, same event, maybe with the different values. Like a cost. Okay? Cost class. So now, if I want to come out with one object of the cost class, I can come out with database, web design, maybe. Those are the 3 objects all under this class called cost. And you can have the same property. You cannot have you may have different values. Okay, like the programming marks. Okay, programming dot marks, you may have 90. Web design dot marks, you may have 80. Something like that. So they may have different value later on. It will have the same or methods or the events that could be happen. Okay. Keep in mind with all this, because you're going to deal with this for the VB.NET. Okay, you need to set X. This we can have as a class. So you may have 10 buttons. You may have 2 buttons in one form. Still fall under the class called button. You can have button 1. Okay. Button 1 dot show. Dot click. Something like that. So in VB, you will work with the object which have properties, method, and event. This is what I keep mention on our later. And then each object is based on the class. Okay. So the button just now, button. Student 1, 2, 3 just now is on the class. Must be something related, okay. when you create your database as well, you need to deal with that. You actually deal with the class and object as well. Now, you still remember or on the cinema ticketing system, cinema management system. Cinema, what are the entities you have? You have the movie here is supposed to what kind of movies you have fall under these movie tables. You have Spider-Man, you have some other movies. Those objects fall in class called movie. You have some ideas already different between the object and class. What's the real meaning of this object and class?
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. So now, type equate to nouns. Objects with the nouns is like what you have done in the database as well. You use a noun as an entity name. Now, every record that you have under that particular entity, you're using a noun for that name, for the object. That particular class, you still use a noun. Forms are the windows, control are the components contained inside the form. That's the elements. Property is actually just like the color, the size, whether aligned or not, visible or not, visible or not. All this can be set. On is after you drag and drop a certain components or elements, you can adjust the properties of the object. Okay? And also you can adjust whatsoever method if you want for an object. Okay? So methods are like verbs, the functions. Okay? Typical methods include close, show, and clear. When occurs when the user takes some actions, when you click on a certain buttons, like for this form design later on, you're going to deal with the clicks. You click the certain buttons, the actions that you want to take. Okay, click on the button A. Is it reset? Button B, I want to prepare. Button C, I want to submit. Button D, I want to print, and so on. Okay. Classes are the templates used to new objects. Okay, classes. So you have a class, you have a lot of objects under this class. Okay. Classes contains the definitions of all available properties, method, and event. Each new object created is based on class. Did you notice? Class, many objects. You can have more than one object. One object is fall under one class. Okay. Creating 3 buttons makes each button an instance of the button class, which means that this button class have 3 objects for button 1, button 2, button 3. You can rename the buttons. In each button here, we call it as one instance of this button class. Those are the terms that you need to deal with. Instance, object, button. Class, object, instance. Okay. All these, the object, you need to deal with properties. Event. Keep in mind first. Okay. So this is one of the example for the class. Here we have automobile properties. What are the properties that you can set? What are the objects? Each individual car. You have car. You have each individual car based on this car. Okay, so object is also an instance of the automobile class. You can apply to the objects: start, stop, speed up, slow down. Events here: cars arrive, car crashes, and so on. Okay, this is only one of. So Microsoft Visual Studio, you're using 12.17 or 1.9?
1.9.
1.9. In the community editions, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So which means that is part. So only to tell you this, what are the software included in this studio. So we have Visual Basic, C++, C#, Remark. Visual Studio available in 3 editions. Community editions, the ones you always can get free editions there. So I hope all 3 of you already installed, and then make sure with Visual Basic inside. Okay. For a while post inside our group, then I put some. Okay. So writing Visual Basic projects here. So there's 3 steps process when writing our Visual Basic applications. You set up the user interface. You must set up the interface, find the properties, and then create the codes. So when before you have this, you must do proper planning. Okay? Like in your assignment, this programming previously, and first to come up with some pseudocode, flowchart, and so on. Okay, so the planning wise, design the user interface, plan the properties. What are the properties that you want to set for every single objects that you need to have? Every single or level or text box maybe set particular properties. Okay, you have to plan it. And you have to plan a basic code, follow the language syntax rules. You have to use the pseudocode. Pseudocode, you all still remember the pseudocode, The programming part, you use the same 3 steps to define the user's the properties, write the basic code, and you may apply some functions into it. These functions is actually you deal with the one form. After you have created one form, you can have 2 different views. One is design view and one is view. Once you deal with the programming, you need to deal with the code view. UI interface more to the design view. Still deal with the same form. For VB applications form, one solution, think of one solutions equals to one object solutions. And after you have run it, it's actually all this kind of files will come out. Okay. Once a project is run, several more files are created by the system. The only files that is open directly, you can straight away, once you have like what you have for the demo file, you can straight away open the solutions file. So from the solutions file, you can switch forms to run now or to debug. Okay. Okay. Straight away see the result. Okay. So I believe you all noticed this also as well. Definitely with different here because last time you actually deal with the class. Okay. So later on we're gonna have more for the forms and definitely all those forms WB is actually under one solutions. You must place it under one solutions. One solutions definitely you have more than one forms. In case for the exercise, maybe one solutions you have you may have only one form for the practical. Maybe at first you have one solutions, one form. You can make it to one solutions, more than one forms later on. Visual Studio environment. The Visual Studio environment is where you can create and test your project in Visual Studio. That's called IDE. integrated development environment. So this is an environment for you to have all this kind of form design where you can put in the code, compiler, debugger, everything all in one. Okay, IDE normally all in one. Okay, to ease the around with the system straight away. But including those toolbox, later on you can adjust all these kind of properties. And then if you have problems, you can easily go for the help facilities as well. IDE Main, you can find out. I'm not sure whether you have opened out or not. Information, I definitely don't want to open it first because this will really slow down my PC even worse. My laptop even worse. Okay. So maybe you can just open up, create a project later on. So once you start to create a project, display this IDE Main window. In your case, your Solutions Explorer is here, but make sure you have the Solutions Explorer. You have the piece, you have the toolbox, you have a form. That should be enough at this moment. Display somewhere here. If let's say you close toolbox, okay, suddenly you don't know what happened to you. You just close the toolbox. And where to find it. So you can still get it from here. Okay, you still can get it from the toolbar there. Okay, no worry. Okay, it won't missing. It won't go missing. It's only for the design time, just when designing this user interface and writing code. And the runtime here is when running a project. Break time and receiving a runtime error, then you need to do some adjustment later on. Okay. For post project execution, so when you run problems or errors come out, definitely it will break for the break time, which means that it until whether you close it. Okay. Or identify what's the problem. Okay. It will be the break time now. I think your first BB project here. You have to set up the project, set up the workspace, run the Visual Studio IDE, and customize the workspace if desired. Create a new project in Visual Studio, the one that you have installed. Set up the environment. You can customize the windows and toolbars, but you like all this you want to customize or not, because most of the programmer they are actually use their own environment. They may have different layout. All up to you how you want to set up your own environment to do your program outcome system. So planning the project, design the user interface, set up a form, resize the form, place a label and control on the form using the toolbox, lock the control in place so you can actually play around with this later on. Okay, so you can just drag and drop, you can double click, so you adjust where you want to put this label, where you want to put this button, and also you can lock the control, which means the user can resize it maybe. Okay, user cannot move it to here and there. Okay, just once you design something, I believe programmers need some respect from the user. They don't want their user to just modify or adjust, simply modify what you have designed, right? So you can lock all this type of control later on. So after the user interface is designed, the next step is to set some properties. So based on this form here, okay, you can do or or come out or set some properties for the form, for the label, for the button. You can change the text. That means that you choose label 1, button 2, set. Okay? You can change all this type of label. What's the label 1? So like this case, you want to change the text like label 1, leave it blank. Button 1, you want to name this button as button push. So all these need to be done under the properties. All these are the properties that can be set a lot. Different objects will have different properties as well. Okay. So the text I want to change button 1 to push me, which means that user, if you have a user when you look at button 1, button 2, what is that? I don't know. Yeah? I don't know what should I do, or should I click submit, or should I click to exit? Now text being listed here. Okay. So you can also rename the form here to change the text form to other text as well. You can do that as well. So all this can be set. And writing the code, while the project is running, the user can perform actions. So each action done by the user causes an event. Okay. Event to occur. So, like a button to be clicked by the user. Actions or what event? That's a click event. What you want to do after I click on display button? So button display dot click. I want to show some message at the label. So record for the events you care about, events you want to respond to it with. Okay. It's written as event procedures. Maybe we'll ignore events for which you do not write code. Sometimes when you deal with design part of design view, you may like double click until it gives you the code view. So it will actually give you a really code. Okay, like private blah blah blah. If you do the button click, you double click on the button, it will actually give you a list of the codes already ready there. Ready there, then you just fill out something. So sometimes you click it without any purpose. Knowledge, you just when you clear it, without any extra codes, won't do anything as well. So no worry. Only will make your code view site looks like a lot of codes, but there's nothing there. VB will automatically name event, will automatically name event procedure is the object name, underscore, and name of the event. For example here, click. So I just go back to the previous slide here. If here is the button exit, since this button to this button exit. So if you want to apply some code, then I click on this button too. It will show you the code view already. This code view is actually the name for the event procedures will be automatically there. This one will be automatically there. So you are going to do on writing the code. When writing the code for your first project, you will use assignment statement and ending agreement. It's a remark statement. With that as well. Only that now they use remark. Previously, you used comment. Let's put an apostrophe. This one. On the separate lines from executable, you can just put a line as a comment. Or you have the code on your left, you have the comment on your right. Okay. this will be automatically colored green in the editor in your code view. The comment. Okay. So as like the comments that you deal with in your C++ is non-executable, which means that it's only for the programmer's reference. More details, especially when you work this in a team. Okay. So good. You're still with me?
Still.
Still okay. So far the anything
What?
so good. Any lagging?
Very like.
Yeah.
Yeah, got
You all managed to get what I mentioned?
A bit lah.
a bit.
Not so clear.
But so far, any questions you want to ask before I continue?
No.
So far, no. Farah, how about Farah?
No question.
Just continue all these just concept only.
Yeah, concept. But you still need to apply, Okay. Assignment statement. Assign a value to a property or variable. So approach from the right to the left. Okay. The value appearing on the right side, on the equal sign, is assigned to the property's name on the left side. So the concept here is still the same like what you have done in C++. Assign a hello world string to message.text. After you click display button, you want to assign a word string to message label text. So display this hello world later. Okay. So enclose the text strings in quotation marks. Okay. It's a string, same thing. Ending a program. Methods always have parentheses. So this will help you to distinguish them from the properties which never have. To execute the method of an object, you write object.method. So for the current form here, we always can replace the form name with rename the form as a form menu. If you want to have a method to close this form, you put form menu.close. Since now you are in the current form menu, you can use me.close. If you set this form, once you click on the close button, maybe or exit button, okay, it will close. So that's one of the methods that you're going to use as well. So run, save, modify, print, and test, debug, and execute. Run the project, debug it. Same thing, your C++ also you run it. Save it, modify the project if needed. Print the code, correct any errors, and rerun. The help is always available from the help menu or by pressing F1. We press on F1 if you need some help. You start executing your program, the first step is called compiling, which means that the VB segments are converted to Microsoft Intermediate Language. Your goal is to have no errors during compile process, a clean compile. This goes to same goes to the C++, same goes to this VB.NET. Error free. So to print the code, file menu, go to the file menu and click print. Okay. Print the complete code of the listing. And then you can also use the arrow symbol to denote the line continuations, because sometimes you have a long line, long sentence, long code, it's not fixed into one line. you can just use the arrow symbol to continue the same line in 2 to 3 lines maybe. Okay. Index error again. You're writing the BB's rules here for punctuations, format, or spelling. Editor here finds more syntax error. It will give you the line, squiggly line, they call it. So later on, if you make some mistakes, when you start to the code view, some squiggly line, this squiggly line will be the red color to find out that line, if you can see that line, definitely there's some errors there already. Okay. So you can point to an arrow to pop up the error message. Okay. You can also display the error list window and line number in the source code to help you to locate the error line. So that easier for you to find out, okay, which line is with the error, okay, like they will suggest you on what kind of errors that you can work. Some error, such as the impossible arithmetic operations, which include with non-numeric data, you divide it with by 0 of a negative number. All this will give you the runtime error. Logic error, it will still run incorrect. Okay. So this one is only for your revision. You did this previously as well. Naming rules and conventions. Okay. A set of standard and rules follow them. Name can contain the letter, digits, and others. It's the same like what you have learned in C++. No space, punctuation marks, or result using camel case. So, for example, here label message, button exit, form data entry, tax payment amount. It's actually giving you an idea here. You're having one element of label name message. Actually having one element called button. Okay. With the name button exit, the exit. Okay. Actually, this is the prefix. LBL, BTN, FFM, TXT. You're going to use that prefix. Or different control, different prefix. Okay. Yeah, this is the one I mentioned just now. When it comes to the button that you need to create something, and sure you need to rename a particular button. Okay. So always start with the proper prefix. If this is a button, okay, you will put BTN first and followed by D in the uppercase DISPLAY. Button display. If it's a checkbox, you should start with this CHK and so on. Okay. So every single element in this prefix, so that easier for the programmer to look at it, deal with the box. Oh, now dealing with the combo box. Okay. Only giving the name, I name it as display. I'm not sure there's a label to display. I'm not sure there's a button to display. I'm not sure there's a text box to display. So it's no problem for you to name it. Okay. Waste your time. Waste your time. Of whether now you are actually having it as a label, as a button, and so on. Okay, so definitely it saves your times already now when you have all this kind of things. You can take a look. So now Visual Studio help additional information. Help facilities. You can simply Google it. You can just simply F1 it. VS Help facilities that includes all the Microsoft Development App Library. This is the one that I mentioned, MSDN. A lot of questions and answers, which means that like have some problems, they have some questions, or have provide you a lot of information on the student. What is the properties? What is the and kind of details and information there. Q answers. Okay. MSDN help to display VB topics only. It's because for this MSDN is not. You can just filter it to display VB topics only. MSDN cover MSDN CD or web, normally web lah. You can simply just Google it. So you can access it at msdn.microsoft.com. It really belongs to Microsoft. Okay. Help system in VS here. Your studio allows you to view the help topic in the separate windows from the VS IDE. So sometimes they will give you a lot of screenshots as well to have this and that. So you can have both windows open at the same time. Data for this is msdn.microsoft.com. Are you please be friend with this web friend with this site. Did it? Huh? We go for this rate applications development. Ready. This is actually a team-based techniques. IS development and produce a functioning information system. So this already includes a group of user managers, IT staff, working right from not only the programming side, not only the developers. It's user, those who are going to deal with the system coming in at this stage. Already relies heavily on prototyping and users involvement. User involvement, which means that they really care about the users from the start. A lot of they will start to communicate with the user first, then slowly no user involvement already, but at the end they ask the user to come in and test. But already they will involve user every stage. So that user can give different type of comment or feedback based on the prototype. At the end, no products that they have. Save the time, save the development time. A prototype is an earlier rapidly constructed working versions of the proposed IS. It will straight away come out with a prototype already. Something like prototype coming in at a very early stage. Okay. So the already process allows the user to examine the working model as early as possible. So how early you can actually involve the user to come in, meets their needs or not, suggest necessary changes or not. Based on the user input, the prototype is modified and the interactive process until the system is completely developed and users are satisfied. Okay, so everything user and prototype, user, prototype. User will keep on feeding the developer and feedback to improve and this and that until the requirement planning, user design, constructions cut over. So these RAD models consist of all these 4 phases. Okay. And then user is there. User always there. Okay. Requirement planning task. This is the one. Requirement planning. So user manage IT group, IT staff and business object scope, system requirement. It's like the business rules, And in your database, simply try to figure out what's the business rules, everything. Okay. Together with the development team. Management approvals continue. The user design tasks, interact with the user, build the models, and the types are ready. Construction tasks, coding, program, the development team start to ready, and then a lot of testing. This testing is already involved user inside the testing. Tasks, conversions, full scale testing. How you can change from the old system to the new system. That's a system changeover. User testing. All these four are the IDE phases. And mostly more to the user involvement. The user involvement is considered maximum. Okay, and like it's not like some other model, they're actually having sketch something for you first, and they will talk about it, whether this one is okay. Then they come up with a prototype already, almost final product already. So already the main objective for this already approach is part development and expenses by involving users in every phase of system development. You can see that. You can see users involvement in phases in this RAD, in this development. So because it is continuous process, RAD allows the development team to make necessary modifications quickly. The model, this is considered plastic and consider effective because and the final products that you come up with is usually for the user. So definitely at the end, user will be very satisfactory because they give comment here and there, and now the final product is really what they want. Okay. It's not like some of the model, you only ask the user to come in at the early stage, for the middle stage, you didn't ask them. And after your own testing, this is not what I want. You have to redo back everything. So your first exercise, your first Visual Basic exercise, you have to create a form with 4 buttons. Simple project will display the message "Hello World" in a level of 4 languages, depending on the button user clicks. User clicks on the Spanish, it will show this in the level. So the project here will also terminate when the user clicks the exit button. So you're going to have 1 button for the English, 1 button for the Spanish, 1 button for the French, and 1 button for the Italian. And then this label have 1 label only. Click on this English button. That label show "Hello World." If I click the Spanish button, that label, the same label as the example, will show "Hola." Okay. If I click on the French button, same label that is changed to this. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons, 1 label, depends on which buttons they click here to show different here, and then another button here to show to exit. Means that in total you have 5. This is what you need to do. First, every first baby design, deal with the design view. And your code view, you're going to deal with something like this. button English, button French, button Italian, dot click event. And dot click, you double click that particular button. You need to do some simple coding there. What you have learned from this chapter, the concept lah. I believe some of the concept I know is already you haven't do with it. Only that for your revisions. Need to whatsoever that you have learned in first programming language. Okay, a lot of terms here. Classes, object, is a method, methods and events. The steps to write a visual project. Find time with different times. What's the meaning of the different times? The meaning of the different errors. Okay. Help. And this RAD model and the benefit. So questions?
Oh, do you use the single quote?
So how to use the?
Do you use the single quote?
We use the single quote, you mean?
Yeah.
In the VB, with the font design, that's string.
Oh,
That's a string.
for the
So you do with the integer later on. You must do casting. This one we're going to learn it in the later chapter.
Okay.
What you do with the string, you must use the quote.
So there are one exercise only, right?
You clearly, sorry, Noel.
There are one exercise only, right?
Yeah, one exercise only. But I'm not sure whether you started to open up to create a project already. At least you have idea how to open up the something there. Let's do it now.
Okay.
Not show to you now because I just worry later on my laptop. Okay. Okay, you do it first and then you let me know if you have any problems.
Okay.
Maybe one of you can project your screen here. I let you project it. Anyone with the more powerful laptop? Need to project the screen.
Wait up.
Okay.
So I present now.
Yeah, you present now.
Okay. Can see.
Yeah. You project Visual Studio.
Oh. This one, right?
Okay, good. Yeah. I've opened our one form already. You can go to your form 1. So which means that now you're actually selecting. So you can rename it. Rename it up to you. You'll rename it to Form Hello World, maybe. Go there. RFRM.
Like this.
RM, no space, huh?
Oh. Okay.
With RM Hello World, easy for you to know that. Let's see. Form. That's a form called RM Hello World. Like that. Okay.
Oh.
Text day. Hit online.
Also, hello world.
So from here you can change to hello space world. That's the text. The text you can have any text. You can put space as well, but not the name. Naming conventions. Remember the naming conventions. No space. You can only have digits, and then you always start the form name with FRM lah.
Also,
RM followed by hello world.
oh.
So it's easy for you to know that. That's okay. So you have set this form name as form hello world, and also the text of this form as hello world, something like that.
Okay.
So now to get the button, you have to go to the view. Yes. And go for the button. You can see a list of the components or the elements there. There's your toolbox. Okay. So it's all you can arrange all your own environment up to your comfortable lah. If you think that it's more comfortable in this way, you can just arrange it. So label, and then you can double click, you can drag, you can just double click the button. Okay, label, you just put it there, it's okay. You double click the label. So which means that now you simply click on the label, but there is no code inside. Don't execute here lah. It's what we mentioned in the one of the slide. So automatically show the thanks for automatically come up. You can see that handle label 1.click. So that's a element label. But one is the click event. So what you want to do by this level 1.click, nothing. You click it without any purpose, just fit or just it is okay. Okay. So this is a code view. Your design view. This is a code view,
Oh.
You go to the design view, form 1.vb design. That's the design view. Okay. This is the part that you can play around with your UI. So now you double click design box. Set it down there. Yes.
What?
Double click.
Button.
Yes. and double click one more time because you need more button now.
Oh.
Click one more time, double click.
Oh, you know. Like this.
No, okay. If you double click here, you need to fill in something. Handle, click, but you haven't renamed it. Later on, after you rename it, you can do with this. You can delete this later on.
Oh.
Okay. You come back to the design view. Box. Okay, double click. Click. Okay.
Click what?
Double click button.
Oh.
No, double click the toolbox. Okay, button.
Oh.
You can see what's the difference. Put the drag and drop and click. So you can see that. You can also use double click. You can also drag and drop.
Oh, I see.
So now you try to rename all the buttons that you have. Okay. Rename the button that you have first. How many buttons you need? Exercise?
4, 8, 5.
4. One more exit button. So you need one more. So you can rearrange all these later on. Okay. And then your label as well. You can rearrange it. Okay. So you can select all, right click, right click on the button there, and do the lock control, something like that. Okay.
Oh.
This is what we have gone through just now. I just want to show you that for the forms that you're going to have later on, is actually you can do all this kind of control.
What's the name of it?
Name of every buttons that you have. So then you should start with P. So your first button, text is what? Normally the text is what? Like English, you should have the name of that button BT. So that you to get back. So Farah and also Kelvin, you can just follow the steps here. You can, maybe you are somewhere far away already. Okay.
Okay.
Farah and Kelvin, are you working on this also?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, good. Kelvin, you haven't installed or what? In here?
Trying to start it. I don't know how to get.
Do you have Visual Studio installed in your machine? Visual Basic?
Yeah. I don't know what's.
Yes. Have you
I don't
opened
know
up?
which
It's the-
new project.
Window form app.
Oh, which new project? Once you create a new project, you should select the Windows form.
Huh? What? Select what? There's I don't know which which one to choose. Oh, Windows Form.NET framework. Let me try.
Can see. This one.
Okay. Oh. Okay, let me try. Okay, okay. See. Okay. Okay, can see. I think it's still like I think a bit laggy.
There. It's normal.
Hello, so I'm back. My connection here is really lousy. Some more is going to rain, I think. Can you all hear me?
Can.
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 How the heavy rain last few days affected your area? Is your area affected?
Yeah.
So far,
Your area affected? How many feet?
I don't know. But cannot cross the road lah.
Oh, your house still okay lah, not affected.
Yeah.
Just the main road, Noel, your side?
no.
No, Kelvin, on your side, okay?
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's good. My area also, I cannot access the road already. Okay, you're still doing, right?
Yeah. Still do.
See, let me see what is that? See your design first.
Oh.
Well, see your design first. The way you put hello over there.
Oh, supposed to be empty.
Let me check your code. It's supposed to be empty. You cannot put it there first because it's on. Okay, once I click on the English, then only it show hello world. Something like that.
Oh,
And you are doing it great. Hold on, let me check. This button one is what? Sure. Is it?
English. This one.
To all this sub, yeah, the one that you selected just now. Private sub button one, click until end sub. Reference there.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, the one who minimize is throw it, You throw everything. Start with P, private sub. Go to the left, yeah. Throw it. I just wonder whether you rename it or not. Do it. Did it?
I guess.
It's talking about it. Okay, go back to the design.
Okay.
Your English. The properties of the English button. English. Okay, click the English again.
So, double
Click it. And now you can see the button English.
no.
Button one. Oh, so this is when English click. Label output text will show hello world. Okay. Yeah, this should be right. So you can see that the first button English click here, sender as object E is handle that button English click. As it automatically procedures, the event come up for you. Right? So why I mentioned minimize, minimal. Okay. Once you double click this and that, it's actually giving you the coding already. Only whether you want to add up something or not. Add up something, you know it won't execute well. Okay. So I believe if you double click all the buttons that you have, should have no problems already. Now you can start to run it. How about your exit button? Have you created your exit button? That is the exit button. Middle close. Good. So other than middle close, you can actually put form. So it's actually you rename it as me.close instead of you just use the form name. So yeah, in the current form, so which means that me.close is okay. So you just run it. Things should be okay already. See your design view. Hello world is you can throw away the text in your label.
Madam.
Yeah. You have to select the label first. Now you're still with the button. Yeah. Yeah, throw this one. Empty.
Like this.
Okay, so then you can run. So you have a play button here at the top. How to debug it is what you have done in C++. Okay, it's come out already. English, click it. Hello world, click Spanish. Yes, French. Yes. Another one. Good. Check.
What? Exit.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right? Right? Yeah. You've done it well. This is your first form design. So you can practice more by use a font environment. Check on what are the other toolbox, other elements that you can play around with. Okay.
Oh, miss. This one. I have to
Noel?
rename this one. This, I don't know what is this. Main form. Yeah, because
Your main form name is form hello, right? Hello world, right?
Yeah.
So this part is actually automatically generated for you.
Oh.
Automatically generated for you. So you don't change it.
Because just now I have to.
So this is what you need to do for your first practical later on.
Oh. This one.
Again, Noel, I can't hear you.
Oh, I have to manually change. It doesn't automatically change.
What?
This one. The
generated one is give you what?
form 1. Like this.
Form 1, because
yeah.
Now when you have form 1, this already generated. Okay, so you can see that's why I said how come you have so many forms. It's good to rename first. You don't need to touch on this part already, actually.
Oh.
You have form 1, maybe form 1. Your name of the form 1, it should be the form world, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's good to just name your form as possible when you create a form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I believe for this part, okay already. For Farah and Kelvin, do you have problems to come up with this exercise? Noel?
Wait,
Farah, okay.
Working on it.
Okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
About Kelvin? Yeah. How about Kelvin?
Not so good, I think.
So good, not so good,
And
Can you project your
no.
maybe?
how do you know? Where do you get the code?
Double click from the design view.
No,
Those are automatic.
how do you get the? How do you make the button? How do you create?
The toolbox.
Oh, I don't have toolbox. Where's the toolbox? How do you get open the toolbox?
Go to view.
View.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay, I'll do it myself later.
You try first, huh? Farrell, also please try. Any questions you may ask Noel for this case? For this Thursday, for the practical. Huh? Okay. So for the practical one here, you have the practical one already with you, huh? Make sure you download it from your. Okay.
Yeah.
I mentioned we don't have any tutorial class. We only have the practical class. So for the practical, it would be good if you can finish it earlier lah. We can use the practical class to discuss which parts that you don't get it. If you really don't have time, then no problem. We can still use sometimes for you to sort it out for all the questions in the. So you try to see whether you can do 4 questions maybe, because in the practical one you have 4 questions here. So you try your best to do as many as you can. Okay. Anyway, for the practical class, you only have 2 hours. I don't think it's enough time for you to cover everything. Have problems, no worries. But at least once you have tried, you know what's your problem. Huh? Okay, class.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Do we have to do the
So
practical?
I will see you.
Do we do the practical before we join the class?
Will be better, I say. So if you have no problem, then maybe we can use the time to do some other things.
Okay.
For the first practical, if you think that you are not ready yet, you still need time to play around with this sort of toolbox. It's okay. Practical class, no problem. Okay, practical one. Some of the practicals is listed there. You must finish it before the practical class starts. During the practical class, you need to do some demos to me lah. This one you can do it in Thursday lah. It's okay. If you can much for you today, okay, no problem. Then we continue. But today, actually, you try out the exercise. Huh? Hello?
Okay.
Can you all hear me?
Okay.
Can.
Okay, yeah, must. Exercise is a must. Practical, they're still okay. No questions, then we can dismiss lah now. Okay? See you on Thursday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, Miss. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.